Okay, so once again, good morning, everyone. So actually, our topic for today is about an introduction of research now. So effective research methods are the tools by which information is gathered. No? Without the appropriate design and use research method, we are likely to gather quality information and as such create a shaky foundation to any review, evaluation, and future strategy. So the group of research method contained within the different books are the toolbox, and like any tools need to be used in the right way for the right job. So research method, if understood and used appropriately, can make your job a lot easier. Okay, and of course, all we all encountered research in our daily lives. The results of research on many topics are presented to us in the form of newspaper articles. Books, reports, and television programs. No, let's say for example, crime level figures are presented to us by television news report in some topics, such as diet and health, are very popular with magazines as well as television programs. Now, that's through various media, we have become accustomed to seeing, reading, and hearing about research, and although we may not be aware of it. So we are used to making our own judgment about research findings. If we take the example of diet and health, many of us have taken into consideration information that has been presented on healthy eating and have made our own choices about diet within the context of our own lives. We assess the information with which we are presented. So form an opinion as to the validity and relevance of the research and come to our own conclusion based on different considerations. Okay, to give us more details about the introduction of research, specifically the stages of academic research and classification of research, let us all welcome our first presenter. Okay, so this time our presenter will be able to discuss, uh, of course, the stages of academic research. No, we need to understand that in doing research, we need to identify and develop your topic. We need to do a preliminary search of informed information. We need to identify the local materials, of course, or if we could able to locate the materials, evaluate your sources, make notes, write your paper, cite your sources properly, and proofread. To give us more details, let us all welcome our presenter.
Good morning, Dean. Good morning, classmate. My topic for today is the introduction to research, stages of academic research, and classification of research report. First, what is research? Research is a systematic process of collecting, analyzing, and interpreting information, data in order to better understand a phenomenon about which we are interested or concerned. It is a lengthy process, focused, specific, intensive, accumulative, and educational. It is not mere information gathering, transportation of facts from one location to another, and rummaging for information. And what is academic research? Academic research is defined as a systematic investigation into a problem or situation where the intention is to identify facts and or opinions that will assist in solving the problem or dealing with the situation. Academic or scholarly research focuses on research goals, questions that arise from independent researchers. It uses formal, scientific, and systematic procedures to discover answers. The scholarly research is guided by an already existing theory in order to reject or support the theory. There are basic steps in the research process. The following steps outline a simple and effective strategy for writing a research paper. Step 1. Identify and develop your topic. Selecting a topic can be the most challenging part of a research assignment, since this is the very first step in writing a paper. It is vital that it be done correctly. Here are some tips for selecting a topic. First, select a topic within the parameters set by the assignment. Many times your instructor will give you clear guidelines as to what you can and cannot write about. Second, select a topic of personal interest to you and learn more about it. Third, select a topic for which you can find a manageable amount of information. Do a preliminary search of information sources to determine whether existing sources will meet your needs. If you find too much information, you may need to narrow your topic. If you find too little, you may need to broaden your topic. Fourth, be original. Your instructor reads hundreds of research papers every year, and many of them are on the same topics in the news at the time, controversial issues, subject for which there is ample and easily accessed information. And fifth, see your instructor for advice. Step 2. Do a preliminary search for information. Before beginning your research in earnest, do a preliminary search to determine whether there is enough information out there for your needs and to set the context of your research. Look up your keywords in the appropriate titles in the library's reference collection, dictionaries, and in other sources such as our catalog books, periodical databases, and internet search engines. Additional background information may be found in your lecture notes, textbooks, and reserved readings. You may find it necessary to adjust the focus of your topic in light of the resources available to you. Step 3. Locate materials. With the direction of your research now clear to you, you can begin locating material on your topic. There are a number of places you can look for information. First, use the library's electronic periodical databases to find magazine and newspaper articles. Choose the databases and formats best suited to your particular topic. Ask the librarian at the reference desk if you need help figuring out which database best meets your needs. Many of the articles in the databases are available in full text format. Second, use search engines such as Google and Yahoo and subject directories to locate materials on the internet. Step 4. Evaluate your sources. Your instructor expects that you will provide credible, truthful, and reliable information, and you have every right to expect that the sources you use are providing the same. This step is especially important when using internet resources, many of which are regarded as less than reliable. Step 5. Make notes. Consult the resources you've chosen and note the information that will be useful in your paper. Be sure to document all the sources you consult, even if there is a chance you may not use that particular source. The author, title, publisher, URL, and other information will be needed later when creating a bibliography. Step 6. Write your paper. Begin by organizing the information you have collected. The next step is the rough draft, wherein you get your ideas on paper in an unfinished fashion. This step will help you organize your ideas and determine the form your final paper will take. After this, you will revise the draft as many times as you think necessary to create a final product to turn into your instructor. Cite your sources properly. Give credit where credit is due. Cite your sources. Citing or documenting the sources used in your research serves two purposes. It gives proper credit to the authors of the materials used, and it allows those who are reading your work to duplicate your research and locate the sources that you have listed as references. The MLA and the APA styles are the two popular citation formats. Failure to cite your sources properly is plagiarism. Step 8. Proofread. The final step in the process is to proofread the paper you have created. Read through the text and check for any errors in spelling, grammar, and punctuation. Make sure the sources you use are cited properly. Make sure the message that you want to get across to the reader has been thoroughly stated. What is a research report? A research report is a well-crafted document that outlines the processes, data, and findings of a systematic investigation. It is an important document that serves as a first-hand account of the research process, and it is typically considered as an objective and accurate source of information. In many ways, a research report can be considered as a summary of the research process that clearly highlights findings, recommendations, and other important details. Reading a well-written research report should provide you with all the information you need about the core areas of the research process. Some of the basic features that define a research report include: it is a detailed presentation of research processes and findings, and it is usually includes tables and graphs. It is written in a formal language. A research report is usually written in the third person. It is informative and based on first-hand verifiable information. It is formally structured with headings, sections, and bullet points. It always includes recommendations for future actions. The research report is classified based on two things: nature of research and target audience. Classification of research based on approach. Qualitative research report. This is a type of report written for qualitative research. It outlines the methods, processes, and findings of a qualitative method of a systematic investigation. In educational research, a qualitative research report provides an opportunity for one to apply his or her knowledge and develop skills in planning and executing qualitative research projects. A qualitative research report is usually descriptive in nature. Hence, in addition to presenting details of the research process, you must also create a descriptive narrative of the information. Quantitative research report is a type of research report that is written for quantitative research. Quantitative research is a type of a systematic investigation that pays attention to numerical or statistical values in a bid to find answers to research questions. In this type of research report, the researcher presents quantitative data to support the research process and findings, unlike a qualitative research report that is mainly descriptive. A quantitative research report works with numbers, that is, it is numerical in nature. Technical research report. A technical research report is a detailed document that you present after carrying out industry-based research. This report is highly specialized because it provides information for a technical audience, that is, individuals with above average knowledge in the field of study. Examples of a technical research report include legal and medical research reports. In a technical research report, The researcher is expected to provide specific information about the research process, including statistical analysis and sampling methods. Also, the use of language is highly specialized and filled with jargon. Popular research report aims to make information accessible to everyone. It is written in very simple language, which makes it easy to understand the findings and recommendations. Examples of popular research reports are the information contained in newspapers and magazines. A popular research report is one of a general audience, that is, for individuals who do not necessarily have any knowledge in the field of study. That's all. Thank you and keep safe.
Okay. So
Good
again,
morning.
research can be seen as series of linked activities among from a beginning to an end. No, research usually begins with the identification of a problem, no, followed by a formulation of research questions or objectives, and proceeding from the researcher determines how best to answer this question and so decides what information to collect, how it will be collected, and how it will be analyzed in order to answer the research questions. Described in this way, the research process is given the impression of linearity, no? Yet research investigation is open, an iterative process whereby the process of conducting the research will give rise to the new ideas, which in turn feedback into the data collections and analysis stage. No? Decisions made early in the research process are often revisited in the light of new insights or practical problems encountered along the way. No? So a while ago, our presenter mentioned that, of course, there are cyclical or iterative research process. No? So, or stages. Through the process of designing your research, consideration of both practical and conceptual issues may force you to reconsider your original research question. No? The difficulties with access to research sites or participants may cause you to reconsider your questions or your methods. Issues arising during data collection may suggest that additional data are required or reveal problems with the original research question. Problems or new questions arising from analysis of data collected so far may result in a need to collect more data, sample elsewhere, or employ a different technique. And finally, you progress to the report writing stage. Regardless of the route taken subsequently, research should start with the problem and the research questions. No? If the intention of research is to answer your questions, it follows that choice of method should develop from your question. Choose the method that you can best provide the information you need to answer your research question given the resources available to you. And this is one reason why it is very important to be clear as to what you are asking.